Welcome back to the exciting adventures of the Florida Powerboat Club, and we are rejoining our members in the Tampa Bay area. This is Stu Jones and producer Ryan McCoy hanging out in the Pompano Beach studio and having a really good time doing these flashbacks of this Tampa Bay Poker Run 2022 edition. 12 years here on the Tampa Bay, and now rejoining on episode number 3 with feature coverage of this annual event here on the Tampa Bay waterways. As always, let's begin by thanking our sponsors. Our 2022 series sponsors include Blackwater Boats and their sister company Deep Impact Custom Boats and their authorized sales center Plantation Boat Mart, Mystic Powerboats, Cigarette Racing Team and their authorized sales center Top Gun Yachts, Cigarette Dealer Chief Marine Group, Midnight Express Powerboats, Big Thunder Marine, Concept Boats, Performance Boat Center, Mercury Racing, and Florida Powerboat Club's longest-running sponsor, Nortec High Performance Boats. In addition to our series sponsors, we'd like to welcome 2 local companies, Ultimate Marine, who are based in both Orlando and right here in Tampa Harbor. They've got a dealership right across the canal from the Tampa Convention Center. And also our good friends at Statement Marine, based right here in St. Petersburg, Florida. Builders of performance V-bottoms, center consoles, and now outboard performance catamarans. Well, gang, welcome back to the Tampa Bay Poker Run, an annual event here for the Florida Powerboat Club. 12 years now, and it's been 4 years since we moved it to downtown Tampa, and there's absolutely 20 or 30 reasons why we would do that. One of them is obviously this Tampa Harbor and being able to do these events at Tampa Convention Center. Across the street is the Westin, American Social, Jackson's Bistro. That direction, we've got the Marriott. Right over there, we have the Embassy Suites. And 2 blocks from here, we have a Hilton and we have a Hyatt. So plenty of great hotels for all of the lodging needs we have for the club, and also plenty of docking needs. We were a little shortchanged this year at the Tampa Convention Center because of construction behind me. There's a bunch of big barges here as they add on and renovate to the Tampa Convention Center. That took about 20 boats out of the mix for us here at these docks. And just down the waterway here, we have the Marjorie Park Marina, which is operated by the city of Tampa. Right here on the sponsor dock, you can see all of the leading manufacturers represented here. Starting on the left, Cigarette Racing Team, represented by Chief Marine Group. Beside them, Midnight Express Powerboats. They've got 2 big 43s in the dock beside them. Right beside them, we have Deep Impact, represented by Plantation Boat Mart. Then we go on to Performance Boat Center with their brand new 40 SUNSATION CCX. Beside them, Nortec with a twin pair of 390s, brand new 390s with quad 450s. And then beside them, Mystic Powerboats, 3 boats on display, a brand new 4200 and 240 Cats. And then a whole row of boats behind me, kind of an eclectic mix of high performance as well as cats, V-bottoms, and center consoles. That's how we play with the Florida Powerboat Club. Here today, Saturday morning, a beautiful morning. The sun just coming up here early as we wait for everybody to arrive. We're going to have breakfast on the dock here. And we have a nice little social setting here for a couple of hours as we prepare to leave at 10:30 sharp, where we're going to do the very first poker card right off the dock here at the Tampa Convention Center. A lot of the spectators are starting to gather already. I guess they heard we were in town. It's always a great show to sit here along the Riverwalk and watch the boats come up to the dock and get their card. Yesterday, of course, very, very rough seas as we get these strong northeast winds going through the bay waters. We're going to shorten the course. We're going to try to get out of the bay, the rough part of the bay, get up into the north section of the bay today, and probably enjoy some calmer waters, trying a raft-up party way up at the north end of the bay at the Courtney Campbell Causeway. So join us for a wonderful Tampa Bay Poker Run. Close to 60 teams registered, and a beautiful day ahead of us as we go out on the Tampa Bay waters. And once again, we've got a lot of cameras shooting today. So we've got one of our guys over here at Marjorie Park Marina, and that's the new location that we added this year because we very much needed it due to the absence of one of the entire docks at the convention center. So these floating docks at Marjorie Park were just a big savior, and we used our FPC minibus to shuttle people back and forth from the hotels to the marina, so it worked out really well for everyone. And just a little bit of activity as we jump on board here with Clint Hayes on his 42 Fountain, and there's George's 42 Fountain, the Poker Run edition with Mercury Racing 700s. And another one of the many reasons why I love this venue and this new location is flying here out of Peter O'Knight Airport, which is right beside the start of our Poker Run course. Of course, there is downtown Tampa in the background. That's the Seddon Channel off camera, but a couple of hundred yards away is the actual boat ramp. So everything's really close here. And speaking of close, it looks like the boats are still really close to the dock, like as in tied up to the dock. As we now start off the poker cards with Dennis Delatorre on this Deep Impact 399. The lovely first mate Brianna just got her card. And here's Ryan Foster and Team Try It Now, Nortec 390 Sport. This team actually came by boat to the event about 2 hours away in Palm Harbor is where they're from. And one more time with Mark Fitzgerald and his first mate Laura Markley on this Statement 36 powered by Mercury Racing 450Rs. Ryan says they just got the boat and they're having so much fun with this new statement that plan on seeing them a lot. They're going to do a bunch of poker runs with us this year. And let's say hi to our FPC girls. That's Mason, Colby, Justine, and Hannah. Came all the way from Key West to join us and hand out those poker cards. Well, not just poker cards. They did other stuff too, of course. And let's welcome back Greg Tolson, wife Raquel, joined by their family and friends on this Nortec 340 Sport. And I always joke with Greg about whether he really had a wife or not, because he did so many poker runs with just the guys. And, I was starting to worry about the poor guy. But after 6 years of attending the Tampa Poker Run, he's finally redeemed himself and brought along his beautiful wife Raquel. And they are having a blast today. And did anybody just notice that we actually have four FPC girls handing out the cards today? That's why they are so ready every time every boat comes up. And now it's for Tom and Andrea Anselmi all the way from New Jersey with this super cool 38-foot DONZI ZR Comp. Team Necessary Evil. And let's welcome Del Flores and his crew all the way from New Jersey. And many of us know Del as the leader of the Spartan Powerboat Club in New Jersey. They do a lot of poker runs up there in the summer months. And I'm glad it's the winter months now, because Del's got all his lovely crew members joining us and showing off his brand new Statement 36. So looking good today, Del. And it's the Frank and Frank show. Frank Sr., Frank Jr. here on this 39-foot cigarette Team Svanzalo. They're all the way from New Jersey, and they are avid powerboaters with the club. They do a lot of poker runs, but it's the first time for Tampa. And it's also a first time for Joseph Gross to attend this Tampa Bay Poker Run on his Nortec 390 Sport. That's right, guys, 4 Mercury Racing 450Rs, making this about as good as it gets for the Nortec 390. He's got the double row seating and the oversized T-top, and look at those color-matched 450s. Got a great-looking ride going there. A total of 8 Nortecs registered for this Tampa Bay event. And let's welcome our new sponsor, Team Ultimate Marine, Joseph LeBone and his crew. He's got one of his buddies driving this 46-foot Invincible. It's rigged out for fishing. It's got some big power Quad Mercury Racing 450s hanging off the back of this beast. And what a beautiful ride she is. I remember when Invincible came out with a 37 Cat, and it was a really, really big deal at the time. They actually hired FPC to come and do the photography. But fast forward about 7 years, and here they are with this big 46-foot model. And it's another team from New Jersey, well, at least during the summer months. In the winter months, Mikey Boyle is in the Cape Coral area, attending now with this 34-foot Pilini Cat. This boat, not very far from home, was made right here in St. Petersburg. And Mike has had a lot of fun with this 34 Pilini on these poker runs, but he tells me there's something new coming. We'll have to wait and see. And here's Bruce Kruglich and his crew. And last year they won the Best Dressed Team Award because the girls all had color-matched gold bikinis, but it looks like red and pink are going to be the color choice today on Team Bag Dog 3.0. But everybody is matching. The guys got their red shorts and their white long-sleeve dry-fit shirts. A sure candidate for Best Dressed Crew Award. And we're now on board with Clint Hayes on his 42 Fountain, looking forward. And this is what a traffic jam looks like on a poker run, where you're all lined up waiting for your turn to get a card. But it's not the kind of traffic jam that makes you upset and raises your blood pressure and makes you want to jam the train horn on. It's more like, get out your phone, guys, because you got 4 FPC girls waiting for you here at the dock, and you got to be ready for that. Well, I could say a lot of things about this crew and this 42 Fountain, but I think we'd rather listen to those Mercury Racing 700s as they rumble by. And now a shot from the dock as Clint Hayes pulls up and Kiss the Paper, a 2042 Fountain, 500 Mercury EFIs. Guys, think about that. When's the last time you heard that, 500 EFIs? This is an original 42 Fountain that is as good looking today as it was when it was brand new. So thanks to Clint Hayes for joining us and for his first time, 10 hours all the way on the trailer from Tennessee. And thanks for joining us on your first Tampa run. And let's catch up with Scott Witt now all the way from Virginia, Team My Therapy, a 2021 36-foot Wright Performance 360 Cat. All of the beautiful colors and lines and graphics and a nice spacious cockpit. Mercury Racing 450s. This is an exclusive model from Performance Boat Center. And let's welcome back Chris Colson, First Mate Emily, and the girls, all the way from New Jersey. Team Fluid Friendly is a 39-foot LAVEY craft. Great styling, colorful graphics, and Mercury Racing 700s. And it's another boat from the George Ariano 151 Express lineup, this 30-foot superboat. It's got a big Mercury Racing 565. And we've seen a lot of center console cigarettes, but it's nice to see a Top Gun show up from time to time. Bentley Thompson from South Carolina. Team MADDHATTER is a 39 Top Gun with big power, Mercury Racing 1100, and they are turbocharged. That's a total of 2,200 horsepower. And one more time, a very special welcome to Team Ultimate Marine. Not one, not two, but three boats entered for this run and three lovely ladies up to get the card, making a big splash here on the Tampa Bay Poker Run. But check out the hardware on this 53 Suenos Quad V12 Mercury Verados. And another cool angle from the waterfront side this time, heading towards the dock. It looks like Robert McAtee coming into frame here with his Mystic 4200. I believe it's his first poker run in this new 42 Mystic. It's got quad Mercury Racing 450s. And look at the size of the freeboard of this boat. Look at how tall it is on the water. Aside from its great performance, I believe that's one of the features that many people are attracted to with the Mystic. And in very sharp contrast to the tall freeboard of that center console is now this lowrider. Bailey Claremont and his crew on board Snuff Rider. It's a 30-foot Spectre Cat. They came all the way from New Hampshire to join us today here in Tampa. And check out the repower on this Spectre, brand new Mercury Racing 300s. And the girls are reloading their poker stick with another card. Let's see who's up next as we continue this card handoff at the Tampa Convention Center. And next on deck is another Deep Impact 399. This time it's Paul Bertucci all the way from Mississippi in Team Beer Money 2. And that is his first mate T, gathering up the poker card, and they're joined today by Bill Robbins and Scott Ryerson, both from Sarasota. And now the third of the Ultimate Marine toys. They are some big toys too. Once again, thanks to Joe LeBone for putting on a great show. Another HCB Suenos, this one with a lot of custom features, starting with the colors of not only the sides of the boat. Look at the colors of the gel coat, and the entire boat is that nice kind of a cream, and those color-matched Mercury Racing 450s. And it's one more time for Aaron Swafford, one of our local teams in this 2021 Fountain 38 TE. That stands for Tournament Edition, but they got the red bikini ladies on board today, and it's all about having fun. And this is a team that came a long way to join us. Frank and Claudia SCHEELEN, all the way from Germany, attending with their Nortec 3600 Super Cat. But they're all whippled up to 850 horsepower a side. Ray Evans always puts on a great show, especially in the rough stuff with this 1985 Cigarette Mistress. Got some big power, and he knows how to drive this beast. If you want to see this cigarette running, just go back to the opening segment of this episode. And let's welcome Mike Holderness, one of the local teams. We met Mike years ago when we were attending events over on this coast. And Mike tells us that this boat is owned by Amber Dawn. It's a 36 Yellowfin with triple Mercury 400Rs. But who cares about the boat right now? We got red bikinis everywhere. That's all that matters. And that wraps up our poker card segment. Of course, we couldn't get everybody at the dock, but we're out on the waterways heading for Tampa Bay now. The chopper is still flying around. We probably blew about 20 good minutes of flying time since they took off a little too early. And just a quick shot there of Gary and Troy Kowalski on their 42-foot Mystic. And there's always a last couple of boats that decide, why don't we squirt just a little bit more fuel? Don't want to run out of gas out on Tampa Bay today. And that's a smart move, guys. And here's a team we are seeing now for the first time. Jesse and Stephanie Newman on this 50-foot Nortec center console. What a beautiful ride she is. 5 Mercury Racing 450Rs. And this team has been very loyal to the Nortec High Performance Group. They started with a 39, they went to a 45, and now enjoying this new 50. And here we are now up wide and high, looking down on the group as we're just managing that first little segment of idle speed. And we've got to get past the fuel dock and Marjorie Park Marina before we can hit the throttles. But you can see once we get past that point, it's wide open bay waters as we get into Tampa Bay. And that's going to open things up and give us a chance to run. And always nice to have the local law enforcement nearby just running alongside us. And actually, I do appreciate that from an organizer's standpoint. It's nice to have as many law enforcement assets out on the water for various reasons, but most of all, just to see that we know what we're doing, and above all, to have support if there are any incidents. So thanks to all of the local law enforcement agencies for joining us as we now get up to speed here on Sudden Channel. 6 boats wide, not cool, guys. 3 wide would have been good. And now riding alongside this big HCB Suenos sponsored by Ultimate Marine. This is the one with the quad Mercury V12s, and she's just on cruise control now as they get out into the bay waters. And here's another big wide shot, and that's why, you know, from my standpoint, guys, we're kind of taking up too much of the channel as we exit here into Tampa Bay. I think we should have done that about 3 wide, and that's what we're going to ask for next time. Now we're catching up with Kurt Watkins, came all the way from Boca Raton, Florida, to join us here this weekend at this Nortec 390 Sport Team Evil Woman. Another one of these 390s that is rigged out to the max. It's got the dual row seating, the full-size T-top, and look at that transom, guys. Quad Mercury Racing 450Rs. That is as much power as you can bolt on to this Nortec 390 Sport, which has a 10-foot beam, making it ideal for trailering, but just doesn't give you any more room to put another motor, because I know if you could, guys, you would. One more time with Brad Hancock and his crew on this 50-foot Hustler. Well, you guys, I left that clip alone because we know how much you guys love to hear the horsepower. Let's just call this old school offshore. And in sharp contrast to the audio of that previous 2,400 horsepower Hustler, Del Flores in his 36-foot Statement Cat with twin Mercury Racing 450Rs. A boat that can be seen but rarely heard because, well, let's face it, these Mercury Racing outboards are reliable and they are quiet. And that's just a changing in the way we do things, guys, and something we all have to get used to. Del looking great today all the way from New Jersey. Lots of seating for all his friends. When they finish the spring season here in Florida, they're going to be heading back to New Jersey, where they're going to be doing poker runs with the Spartan Powerboat Club. And we're catching up with Janucci's, one of my favorite Top Guns in the club. Let's listen to these Mercury Racing 700s. Frank Jr. and his dad do a lot of poker runs together, making this a family affair. I'm just glad that they decided to cross over the state and join us here in Tampa. They heard it was a fun run, and they're so happy to join us. They said they're back again next year. And a change of pace now as we continue with our poker card handoffs. Checkpoint number 2 now, a new location, and on board This Is Us. It's a 50-foot azimuth flybridge owned by Keith Goodson. And he's a regular with us here on the Poker Run. He usually does a location at the Vinoy Basin, but this time we moved him. He was going to be out at Egmont Key, but it was so rough out there that we brought this Poker Run checkpoint to Indian Key on the protected waters near the Sunshine Skyway, and I think that was a good move because you can see here as the boats come up alongside, it's just an easy handoff, much safer and less stress for everybody. And back out chasing the boats on Tampa Bay. Notice the conditions are still a little choppy, but nothing like they were the day earlier as we catch up with Joseph Groves. His first Tampa Bay Poker Run, so thanks to Joe and his crew on this Nortec 390 Sport, powered by Quad Mercury Racing 450s. What a beautiful ride. And now catching up with Aaron Swafford one more time. This time they're going fast in this 38 TE Tournament Edition. Once was powered by triple 400s, but he wanted to go faster, so now he's got Quad Mercury 400 Verados, so he's never going to have any problems keeping up with the pack here on these Poker Run events. Riding on board today is Will Kufis. Soon after this event, Will joined the club and did 3 back-to-back poker runs with FPC on his 32-foot skater. And looks like we got this helicopter pilot finally dialed in, flying fast and low with this cool shot of Robert McAtee, and that is downtown St. Petersburg off in the distance as we close in on this Mystic 4200 Quad Mercury Racing 450Rs. Seem to be enjoying the ride today. Still a little bumpy out here, but the sun is out, and it's a beautiful day of boating here on the Tampa Bay waters as we head now towards the Vinoy for our next card checkpoint. Arriving now on the St. Petersburg waterfront, and there is the all-new St. Pete Pier, which was about 5 or 6 years in the making, as I recall. Haven't been there yet, but looks kind of cool. But now we're heading into the Vinoy Basin, and this is a very historic location for us because it's actually where the Tampa Bay Poker Run started 12 years earlier, and we were here for a total of 8 years. So we kept the tradition of doing a poker card here in the basin, and today it's going to be courtesy of Bill Waters and his big 62-foot BAHIA cruiser, and they have got a nice little poker run party going on here, all rafted up in the basin, and the girls on the back of that giant platform. Looks like we can call it more of a dance floor today. But big thumbs up to Bill Waters and Team Bad Investment on the BAHIA for really providing a spirited poker run checkpoint. And it seems like everybody's getting into the spirit. Keith did the same thing back at his checkpoint. A lot of good-looking ladies on board. And that's because they actually hosted Neil and Cindy Campbell. There's Cindy, and I believe that's Ashley Bennyworth. So they got themselves a fun crew that knows how to handle this task. So let's do a quick course recap for today's run. We started in downtown Tampa with our first poker card. Then we headed southbound out of the downtown area into the open waters of Tampa Bay, continuing towards the Sunshine Skyway. But this time, instead of going through the center spans of the Skyway, we tucked it in and went through the canal that brought us out at Indian Key for poker card number 2. Then we turned around and headed back northbound along the shoreline of St. Petersburg, where we stopped in at the Vinoy Basin for card number 3. And now we're going to continue northbound towards the Gandy Bridge, and we're going to pick up our next card right near the Hula Bay, where we're going to rendezvous with a 48-foot ocean. And it looks like the chopper is just going to hover around here near the St. Pete Pier as we now catch up with Bentley Thompson from South Carolina on this 39-foot cigarette Top Gun. And I've got to say, Bentley has got himself a good record running so far this year. He started in January with the winter run. He skipped the Miami run, and then he joined us in Key West in March, and here he is in April joining us for the Tampa Bay Poker Run. So 3 out of 4 ain't bad. And it's one more time with Ryan Foster, Team Try It Now, Nortec 390 Sport. And this one certainly has some fishing pedigree if you look up and see all of those rod holders off the back of the T-top. And triple Mercury 350 Verados. Amazing how 5 years can change things a lot. And it's another local team, Tony and Jessica Gilo, Midnight Express 39, Quad Mercury 400s. Used to have 275s on their boating resume. I want to say they've done something nobody's ever done. They drove this boat all the way from St. Petersburg to the Florida Panhandle, where they joined us for the Emerald Coast Poker Run. And let's say hi one more time to Mark Fitzgerald and first mate Laura in their 36-foot statement, Quad Mercury Racing 450Rs. Getting a good run on these bay waters now as the winds have died down, and we're just getting some great conditions for the poker run. And really a stark contrast to what we saw the day earlier now as we catch up to Robert McAtee. The seas have really laid down and cooperating with us, giving us much nicer conditions. Of course, it's extremely rough out into the Gulf area right now, but we're staying well clear of the Gulf as we head up into the North Fork of Tampa Bay. And let's say hi to Bruce Kruglich and his crew now on this 38-foot statement. Interesting trivia about this boat that Bruce shared was that it was built in St. Pete by Statement. It was shipped to a sheik in Abu Dhabi, and then Bruce purchased it from the sheik and brought it back home. So he's from the Sarasota area, just about an hour south. And for those who love this color, it's royal gold. Fun fact about Bruce, he used to be an offshore powerboat racer, but now he's enjoying poker runs. And here we are now arriving at poker card checkpoint number 4. This is Pat McDonald and his crew on board his 48-foot Ocean named Lazy Lady, and they are anchored right here near the entrance to the channel, which would go into the Tampa Harbor Club or the Hula Bay as we know it, or even towards the West Shore Yacht Club. So it's a very good proximity, easy to find, and you can see he found a spot that was nice and calm. So once again, easy for the teams to idle up close to the boat and get their poker card. Looks like that's going to be Mike Holderness and his crew now here on this 36-foot Yellowfin Team Baywatch. And here's a team that we somehow have missed today, Team Never Enough. That's at 43-foot Midnight Express belonging to Chris and Shelby Mattingly. So a very special thank you to Pat McDonald and his crew on Team Lazy Lady. And now we're going to chase down Gary and Troy Karwowski here in Team Loaded Deck, a 2018-foot Mystic 4200. They recently purchased the boat, and this is their first event with the club, powered by triple 350 Mercury Verados. And now catching up with Scott Witt all the way from Virginia with this 360 Wright Performance Cat, Mercury Racing 450Rs. And I do recall that this would be his second Wright Performance 360. Must have had fun with the first one. Looks like he's on the cruise control now, heading for the checkpoint. And getting together for this money shot as the guys from Ultimate Marine get side by side. The big 46 Invincible on the right and that 53 HCB Suenos on the left. Running together now as they head northbound on the Bay Waters, heading to the next checkpoint. Once again, thanks to Ultimate Marine for joining us and bringing 3 boats to our poker run, 3 of the biggest boats on the Tampa Bay run. And the latest news on the circuit is they have just become a cigarette dealer here for the Tampa Bay area. And it's one more time with Clint Hayes all the way from Tennessee. This 2000 model year 42-foot fountain powered by 500 EFIs, which once again just makes me laugh because this boat is as original as it was 22 years ago. Thanks to Clint and to his crew member Walt for providing us with the extra video coverage. And a very special welcome to Dennis Delatorre and First Mate Brianna, who are attending all the way from Plantation Boat Mart in Tavernier, Florida. This is a Deep Impact 399 Open with Quad Mercury Racing 400s, and many of us know this by now because they are a series sponsor. Plantation Boat Mart is the authorized sales center for all Deep Impact and Blackwater models built in Miami, Florida. And it looks like these two are just having a nice chill day today on the poker run as Brianna sits back with her feet up and enjoying the ride. And if we had an award for the most outrageous boat on the poker run, it would have to go to this HCB 53 Suenos Ultimate Marine. Why? Because they got the big party going on the deck and they got the big power on the transom. Doesn't get much better than that, guys. And here we are arriving at the picnic lunch stop for the day. Well, we call it a picnic because we got everybody picnic lunches dockside in the morning, deli sandwiches, so that we could hang out here at this big long sandbar. It's along the Courtney Campbell Causeway, and the bar alongside is Whiskey Joe's Bar and Grill, a very popular spot for boaters along this nice long section of sandy beach. And this really was the new format that we adopted because there's really no place where you can take 50 or 60 boats and dock them or tie them up anywhere, much less get everybody lunch at the same time. So this was a great format because everybody that had their picnic lunches could just hang out and dine on the boat, or if they wanted to go into the restaurant, they could just wander through the sand and get a table inside the restaurant. So that worked out well, and plenty of room for everybody, and just a perfect way to spend a Saturday afternoon here in the Tampa Bay area. This was certainly the answer for the Tampa Bay Poker Run. But if you don't believe me, let's go talk to our participants and see how they're making out. And it continued to be a beautiful day as we now get back to the docks around the time of happy hour and an early start to the Saturday evening festivities here at the Tampa Convention Center. Inside the Convention Center, we were able to rent out the entire mezzanine level for our party, and I really loved this venue. We have never used this room before, but it's very open and spacious. With all of the windows, it was still very well lit in the early evening hours, and lots of room to set up the screen and have awards and a buffet table and a couple of bars. This was just the ideal format for our poker run parties, and I hope that we can return again next year. We began our awards ceremony by thanking all of our sponsors, kicking this off with Tim Gallagher from Performance Boat Center. I rode with Tim on Scott Favre's 40 Sensation CCX. We had a great day on the water. And it was family day for the Koskers from Mystic Powerboats once again. They attended with Mystic's new 40-foot carbon cat. Dennis Delatorre from Plantation Boat Mart was on hand to represent the Deep Impact brand, driving the 399 Deep Impact on the run with his first mate, Brianna. And it was a great showing from Cigarette Racing Team and Chief Marine Group. Pete Rivero from Cigarette joined Gabby Pacheco from Chief Marine Group. They attended on the Chief Marine edition of the 41 Cigarette Nighthawk. And kicking off the President's Choice Awards were Frank and Claudia Schielen, all the way from Germany, winning them the farthest traveled award at 8,500 miles. And hats off to another team that traveled all the way from Germany, but they won the Best Performance V-Bottom Award with their DONZI 38-foot ZR competition. They went all the way to the Egmont Key checkpoint in rough seas, even though there wasn't a cart boat there. And we double-teamed this award, giving it to Bruce Kruglich and Team Bad Dog 3.0, as well as Mike Holderness and Team Baywatch. Between the two teams, they all had matching outfits, including the ladies in their red bikinis. And the most spirited team went to George Ariano and his crew, 151 Express, for bringing not one, not two, but three boats on the run. And that is Ramon Vera holding the award. And the award for best team name went to Robert McAtee in the Mystic for Team ROBALDO. I'll let you figure that one out. And congratulations to Eric Glazer for winning the best paint and graphics on his brand new Midnight Express 43 Open. It was released at the Miami Boat Show, and it has amazing graphics, the 100th Midnight 43 ever built. We didn't have the Good Samaritan Award, but in lieu of that, we awarded the Member Appreciation Award to Scott Witt in his 360 Wright Performance Cat for being the first to respond to a boating accident earlier in the day where 4 team members were pitched into the water, and Scott got them all picked up into his boat safely. And that same Member Appreciation Award extended to John Wittenberger Sr. on Team On the Rocks 39-foot Cigarette, who continued with that accident response sequence, staying with the crew and making every effort to help them recover their boat safely. And the farthest towed award went to Team BRONX Phantom. In the center, that's Vinny Winowski, who owns the boat. That's Vinny's brother Robert holding the award, and on the left, that's club member Sal Olivia. And for the coveted Broken Propeller Award, that is James Patty on the right, all the way from New Jersey, and joined by his friends from New Jersey. The 42 Fountain had a little mechanical failure and did not finish the run. And the very special Sexiest Crew Award, hands down, went to Team Midnight Express and the new Midnight 100. And that is the ringleader Hagen Glazer in the center holding the award, along with husband Eric on the right. We decided to give him his Sponsor Appreciation Award at the same time for Midnight Express and their continued support of the club. And our Poker Run Awards for the top 3 poker hands. First of all, third place went to Team Plantation Boat Mart. Dennis Delatorre had left the building by the time the cards were played out. So that is Mason on the left and Justine on the right. who did the photography honors. And their second time up on the stage now. Second place goes to Team On the Rocks, John Wittenberger Sr. on the left, John Jr. holding the poker cards, and Ricky the crew chief on the far right. And the grand prize for the best poker hand goes to James Patty from New Jersey with the 42-foot fountain, which proves that even if you break down on the run, you pay to play and you get to play your hands out. So congratulations to James Patty and his first mate for winning this Tampa Bay Poker Run. Part cash and part voucher and the shiny cup to take home as a souvenir. So thanks for joining us, and congratulations to Team Wicked Addiction. And a beautiful light show here dockside at the Tampa Convention Center on Saturday evening. Kind of Christmassy, if you ask me, with the reds and the greens. But that wraps up our Tampa Bay Poker Run 2022 edition, celebrating our 12th year. And we promise to return for the 13th annual Tampa Bay Poker Run back again April the 13th to the 16th right here in downtown Tampa. Thanks to all of our sponsors and participants for joining us here. So we're going to keep the ball rolling with our Powerboating in Paradise series. Moving on now up to the Gulf Coast, and it's going to be the Orange Beach Powerboat Week, which took place just 4 weeks later in the month of May. What an exciting event that was, and it's all right here on our next series of shows. And we know you guys love this stuff, so you can't afford to miss another episode. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and click that notification bell so you'll get an update every time a new episode is released. Be sure to check out the website at flpowerboat.com for all of the details about upcoming poker run events in 2021, as well as membership information. You can follow us on Facebook at Florida Powerboat Club, and you can follow us on Twitter and on these Instagram pages. Thanks to all of our viewers for your wonderful comments on our page, and you guys know who you are, and I really do appreciate that. But if you have questions or comments you want to direct to me specifically, please use my personal email at stu@flpowerboat.com. I check that daily, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. We're going to sign off for now. This is Stu Jones along with our producer Ryan McCoy in the Pompano Beach studio. Have fun out there, guys. Be safe on the waterways. Wear your life jackets when the time is right, and always respect your fellow boaters. Bye for now.